Welcome back to Introduction to Lincoln Douglas. Today, we're looking at a normal LD argument. This is picking up from where we left off last session with our discussion of resolutions. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're just going to kind of walk through what a normal LD argument looks like and the different parts of it. First, though, the main argument of both sides isn't normally called an argument. It's normally called a case, but it means the same thing. It's just kind of the core argument for your side. So what is a typical LD case? Caveat. There are a lot of ways to do an LD case. And one thing that Contend Academy believes in very strongly is that there's no right way to do debate. There are better ways to do debate. There are more persuasive ways to do debate. But debate is very much something that you can change, you can develop, you can do what you want, but only when you're very, very comfortable with it. So for now, we're going to teach you a very normal way to construct an LD case. Once you've done this for a few years, you can start branching up and out into weirder cases. For now, here's what a normal Lincoln Douglas case looks like. So normally a Lincoln Douglas case only has one argument, and it's developed in really three different parts. The first part, and the most important part, the center of the case, is what's called the value. This trips a lot of people up, so don't worry if you're a little confused at first. Value is a weird word. Generally, though, what it means, and all it means, is main goal. That's literally it. Don't ask me why debaters decided to call it values. I don't know. But debaters generally call them values. So you'll hear debaters say, my value is X, and whatever X is, that's their main goal. So if their value is saved lives, then they're saying my main goal is to save lives. That's it. So value is just a main goal. Now, why do you need a goal in a Lincoln Douglas debate? Generally, when an affirmative or a negative speaker comes up to defend their side of the resolution, they'll do it something like this. First, let's bring back up our example resolution. Do you remember our example resolution? Here it is again. Resolved. When in conflict, governments ought to value safety over liberty. Okay, so that's our example resolution. The affirmative is saying, yes, when in conflict, governments ought to value safety over liberty. So a normal affirmative argument, and we talked about this last session as well, is something like this. If governments value safety over liberty, more lives will be saved. Let's go back to the first question. Why do you need a goal in Lincoln Douglas debate? Well, look at that statement. In that argument, the main goal, the value, is life. So every case, almost every Lincoln Douglas case, is going to have a value. It's going to have a main goal. So that's all a value is. After the value comes something called the criterion. This one is easier. Again, it's a weird word for a very simple concept. A criterion is normally just a way of saying, here's how we're going to get to my goal. So for the case that we mentioned above, governments ought to value safety over liberty because it will save more lives. A criterion might be something like national security. In that situation, the affirmative speaker would be saying that if we value national security, that if we use national security, we can achieve life. And by valuing safety over liberty, we're going to be able to use national security. If that's a little bit confusing, it's okay. You'll get into the rhythm of these things over time. So the only other part of a debate case are what's called the contentions. And these are really easy. The contentions are just the main parts of your case. Normally there are 2 or 3 of them, and each of your contention just breaks your main argument out. So you have your criterion and you have your value. That is your case in a nutshell. Your criterion, your value. Your contentions basically just elaborate on that. So again, let's go back to this case that we've been using. When in conflict, governments ought to value safety over liberty because it will save more lives. Our value is saving lives. Our criterion is national security or safety. So our contentions might have names like governments ought to enforce national security or national security saves lives. Those are the types of things you'd see in contentions. It's basically just elaborating on your value and your criterion. Each contention is given a title. The title is called a tagline. Taglines would be something like national security saves lives. So it's just a summary of your argument. Try to keep your title to somewhere between 4 and 5 words. Really try to stick with that. All right, this was a really long session, and this was a lot of content. So if you didn't get it, I'd highly recommend you go back and you watch this session through again and take notes again. The homework for this session is going to be a little bit different, no quiz. Instead, the homework is to go find the resolution for your leak and come up with 3 values or main goals that you think you could use in a case. You don't have to write the whole case. You don't have to come up with criterions. Frankly, the values don't even have to be good ones. But you need to look at your resolution and say, all right, for both sides, for the affirmative side, let me come up with 3 things that I could use as values. For the negative side, let me come up with 3 things that I could use as values. That's it. If it's difficult this time, don't worry. It'll get easier. I promise. Next time, we're going to go over a normal LD case a little bit more.